My kitchen clearly needs a ton of work. Cleaning, decluttering, organizing. We are doing it all today. So welcome to episode 3 of my Decluttering My Entire Home series. This video is packed with cleaning, decluttering, organization, motivation. So if you need a friend to be productive with, I got you covered. Let's get some stuff done together. My son Louis had enough of this little play area, so I picked him up. I was going to try and get him to go down for a nap, but quickly realized that was not going to happen. So we regrouped to plan B, which was wearing him, and we're doing a quick little base clean. Well, not that quick, because as you can see, there were a lot of dishes. The dishwasher is filled with clean dishes, so I'm putting all of those away first, and then we'll tackle the dirty dishes. Now, if you've ever worn a baby while cleaning, you know that yes, it is practical in the sense that sometimes your options are, let me wear this baby while I clean, or I'm just not going to be able to get anything done. So in that case, yes, it's helpful, but it does make it a lot harder to clean. Not only is it like heavy because you're carrying the weight of this baby, but just there's this little person in between your body and what you're trying to clean. So it definitely makes it a little more difficult, especially doing dishes, because I'm obviously making sure I'm not getting him wet or anything, but it was possible. And although it took a little bit longer than it may have taken if he was taking his nap, I was still able to get all of the cleaning done. And he ended up falling asleep like halfway through me cleaning anyways, so that worked out well. He still got a nice nap in. And if you're curious, the carrier I'm using is from Wildbird. They did send it to me. This isn't sponsored, but I highly recommend this carrier. It is so comfortable, and I find myself reaching for it all of the time. And total side note, but what do we think of this fun angle where it's like pointing down at me while I'm doing the dishes? I don't know. As somebody who obviously films videos, I find it a lot of fun to switch up the angle and get different shots. I know for most of you, when you watch my videos, you're probably cleaning along with me, so you're not necessarily looking at the screen the entire time. However, I still have fun kind of switching up the angle and making it just a little more visually interesting, because it is me filming myself, basically doing the same thing over and over and over again. However, that is kind of a part of the point of my videos as well, is I want to help you romanticize those mundane tasks that you have to do every single day, because there are so many tasks that we have to do in our home every single day, and it can become very exhausting and boring, to be honest. But I find that things like having a fun clean with me video to listen to and thinking about how grateful I am that I even have this space to clean. I know they're small little things, but they make such a difference and make me enjoy the process so much more, even though I'm doing it like time and time again. Alrighty, base clean is done, and we are on to our first decluttering/organization project of the day. So we are going to be tackling these cabinets. The messiest one has definitely got my glasses, mugs, bottles, water bottles, all that sort of thing. But then the middle cabinet and left cabinet on the top has some random stuff that I want to neaten up as well. So we're starting off by taking everything out. The shelves that have my bowls and plates, that stuff is not going to be moving, so I didn't take that out. But as far as all of these glasses and mugs and everything else, we are removing everything. That way I can organize it all out before putting it back in the cabinet. And as with all episodes in this Decluttering My Home series, I am trying to get rid of as much as possible. I am trying to be the donation store's best friend these next couple of weeks and months. So if something does not serve an actual purpose for me or my family, we're going to be getting rid of it. And hopefully it can go to somebody who can actually get some use out of it. So once I had taken everything out, I'm now separating it into piles, and I highly recommend doing this whenever you are decluttering any space. I just find that this helps to kind of separate it out, not only physically, but in my mind, and makes it way easier to decide what I'm going to donate or get rid of. And then for the stuff that I am going to keep, I can separate it out in like to piles so that I know how I want to organize it when I put it back in the drawers, or in this case, in the cabinets. Now, this bottle organizer, those like plastic container things I got from Amazon, absolutely love these. They make it so much easier to see what bottles you have and grab them quickly and kind of keep them neat in your cabinet. So I highly recommend that. And now we're moving on to the glasses and mugs, and I'm again repeating the same process of taking everything out so we can start sorting it all out. Glasses and mugs and all that is one of those things that I did not realize how many you could accumulate. Every once in a while is definitely worth sorting through, decluttering, deciding which are the glasses and mugs you actually use on a regular basis and which ones maybe you don't want to get rid of, you can put in storage for another season, or really ask yourself the hard question of, after the initial like sting, I guess we'll call it, of when you decide to give something away, are you really going to think about it? Because chances are you'll forget about it within like an hour of deciding to put it in the donate bin, and so that's a great sign that it is time to pass it on. Now, we do have more decluttering and organizing to come, but first we're gonna jump back into the cleaning, and I'm removing everything from the counters. That way I can get a really nice deep clean. Now, most times I wipe my counters, I just use my Mrs. Meyer's multi-surface cleaner, but since this is a deeper clean, I decided to use one of these disinfectant wipes first to scrub it down. Is this really necessary? I'm not sure, but it's giving it an extra deeper little clean. So wiping that down, and then after that we will go in with my Mrs. Meyer's multi-surface cleaner to do an extra little wipe down. If you are new here, hi, my name is Kat. I'm 30 years old. I live in Connecticut. I'm a first-time mom to my son Louie, who is just about 5 months old. I cannot believe how fast the time is going, but it has been the most incredible journey. And here on my channel, I share a ton of home, cleaning, motivation, and the goal of all my videos is really to just be a friend that you can hang out with while you're getting stuff done. It's really a lot of, videos of me doing cleaning, organizing, routines, really just getting productive. And I hope that while you're getting stuff checked off your to-do list, you can have me on in the background to keep you motivated. My son Louie is waking up from his nap, so you can hear him chiming in the background.
With you everything's complete. Do you know how much I love you? I put your favorite song on just to wake you up. When I dance around, I can't help but feeling I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever?
I don't know how, as somebody who's been making cleaning videos for literal years now, I'd never tried the pink stuff, but wow, this stuff is literally magic. Used it on the oven window in the bottom of the oven. I put it down first, kind of scrubbed it in, let it sit for like 25 minutes, and then here I'm doing a little bit more scrubbing before we wipe it off. But wow, did this make such a positive difference. I was honestly taken back that you can actually see through the oven window now, which before, honestly, you couldn't. So very, very grateful and highly recommend the pink stuff if you have not tried it out. Now, let me know if I'm the only one who does this, but I feel like I'm not. We have always, not always, but for a while now, we have been storing our pots and pans in the oven. It, I mean, isn't the most practical thing because we've been using our oven more than we used to, but it's valuable real estate, I'll say that. But I'll keep you updated if and when we find a better place to store them. But let me know if you store pots and pans in the oven as well. Now, moving on to the microwave. First, I wiped the inside down, and then I'm cleaning the glass plate just with some actual dish soap before we pop that back in. Here I was FaceTiming with my sister and she was showing me her and her fiance had gone to get their Christmas tree. Look at this thing. She said I could show you. It is massive. I said it was just like the Griswold family Christmas tree, which if you know that movie, that was like one of our favorite go-tos growing up. And I'm curious if you're hearing me say this, what is your favorite like old time, I mean, it doesn't have to be old time, literally any, but like movie that when you think about Christmas growing up, what is the Christmas movie that you think of? For me, it was definitely the Griswold family Christmas, like Christmas Vacation and Elf. Those are the two that we just watched on repeat when I was growing up. Now, if you're looking at the screen, you can tell here, obviously the time of day changes. It was like 30-40 minutes in between when I recorded these clips. And in that time, the sun went down. I had paused to go keep talking to my sister, but now we are back and I'm putting everything back on the counters. And it just feels so nice knowing that behind it is all nice and clean. Alrighty, now at this point, Louis was over his baby Bjorn bouncer. So I popped him in this little seat and we are going to be tackling the basket above the fridge. This is one of those places that I love using a basket as organization above the fridge, but it is something that you want to go through and just make sure it's not accumulating too much stuff every once in a while. There were a few protein powder things that were totally expired. They were literally from like 2023. And then there were a few other food items that shouldn't be in that basket. So I moved those and it is nice to know that everything in there now is what's supposed to be there. Alrighty, now not only are we on to another day, we are also on to another task, which is decluttering and organizing and cleaning out the fridge. This is one of those tasks that feels so overwhelming, but once you get started, you realize it's not as bad as you thought. So I'm going to take you through step by step exactly my process. Now, first, I'm taking everything out. Now, if you don't have a section in your kitchen where you can easily lay everything out, you can totally go section by section. If you do that method, I recommend starting with the door, take everything out, clean the door, like shelves and everything, and then organize everything out as you'll see we do later and put it back and then move on to the different shelves within the main fridge. But since I had this big island here that I could move everything to, I decided to take everything out first and then we can clean the fridge and then we'll move on to organizing everything. Alrighty, now that everything is out, the fridge looks so bright and clean. This is actually a relatively newer fridge that Tim got maybe like a month ago or 2 months ago. So it really didn't need that much cleaning, but I am doing a little wipe down with my Mrs. Meyer's multi-surface cleaner. So if you do have any food buildup that's really stubborn, it's stuck on there, you can't get it off, there's a couple different things you can try. Number one is if you take a towel or a thick paper towel, soak it really well in some warm water, a little bit of dish soap, and then lay that on top of the like stubborn spot for like 5 to 10 minutes. This will help soften it up and it's going to be so much easier to wipe it off. And another option, if that's not working, it's really not coming off, or if you have any smells from it that you want to kind of neutralize, you can use some baking soda. Kind of similar, but you take 1 cup of warm water, add in 2 tablespoons of baking soda, take a cloth, soak it in that mixture, and then let that sit on the stain for like 5 minutes so that it can really break it down. And again, you wipe it down and that's also going to help neutralize any smells that may have come up from whatever was built up there. You could be one of the things I love. Sunday morning breakfast with my bedroom door locked. I like everything that has a cherry on top. Get on my list of the things I love, love, love. You could be the one I trust. All the second chances, they are nothing for us. I like it all with the cherry on top. Looking at a super clean fridge that has been just like sparkling, spotless, such a great feeling. And trust me, it's going to be well worth all of the time. It doesn't even have to be that much time that you put into cleaning it. So now that the fridge is clean, it is time to start organizing out all of the food items that I have here. Obviously, these are refrigerated items, so you do want to be moving relatively quickly. But I think if it's sitting out there for 20 minutes, it's going to be okay. And this is a really simple tip, but I recommend organizing your fridge by type of food. So that's what I'm doing with the food here on the island. Now, you will notice I am not touching the stuff that goes in the door just yet. I'm focusing on everything else and putting it into dairy, into eggs, fruit, basically just separating it all out so that when you put it back in the fridge, you can clearly organize the sections that you have. Now, I personally am not somebody who's going to use those clear bins to perfectly organize everything. At that one point, that was a goal of mine. I wanted to be that person, but realistically, I'm trying to be practical here, save time. And while those clear organizers make your fridge look beautiful, I think in everyday life, when you're going to grab stuff and then put stuff back, it just ends up adding more clutter to your fridge, and it is so difficult to maintain. I will say I enjoyed laying out these drinks that my husband loves. They're like bubbly seltzer waters, or buble, I think, and then like put them in nice rows. That I thought looked really pretty. But the one thing you'll never catch me doing is taking my eggs out of the carton and putting them in a clear egg carton. Yes, that looks beautiful, but yes, it's also a huge waste of time in my opinion. So I think just using the containers that your stuff comes in for the most part is more practical. There are definitely exceptions, but as far as what I have today, I didn't think that there were any clear organizers needed. So then I did the same method with all of the items on the door, organized them out. As you can tell here, when we get to the bottom row, my husband loves hot sauce. He is a hot sauce man, and he has so many different types. So I was grateful that this fridge has a ton of door space. I will say one like organization item that I think could be very helpful in the fridge if you don't have enough door space here for these smaller tubed items is a Lazy Susan. If you pop one of those in your fridge and you can put all the bottles on that, I think that can be really, really helpful. Alrighty, it was that time of day when I was ready to take my now room temperature coffee and change it over to some iced coffee. And how cute is this little Christmas tree glass? Just the festive energy that I needed to tackle these baskets within the island. Somehow they always become cluttered messes. Any basket is going to attract clutter. That is something that I've learned. They can be a great tool to organize areas of your home and take like items, group them together and put them in a pretty basket. But I do think that they require a little bit more maintenance than maybe some other methods because they really just attract a ton of clutter. It's just so easy if you're walking by a basket to throw something in there and forget about stuff maybe that was in there if you're not using it that often. So every once in a while, go through, take everything out, and then I'm using my same standard method where I sort into piles of what goes back in that space, what needs to be moved to somewhere else in my home, and what I'm getting rid of, whether that is garbage or donation. In this food case, nothing's really being donated, but you get the point.
About you I like. I get too drunk and too scared and lie to you. If only you knew I would die for you. One of us gotta say the obvious. Nobody loves me better. Nobody loves me better. Nobody loves me better.
Now, this is my favorite basket. It's my morning basket. I've got all of my coffee pods, although I did realize that I still had some decaf pods from when I was pregnant. You can tell I really don't use them now that I'm not pregnant anymore. Popped all of those in a bag, though, just so that it was a little easier to tell when you opened the basket which was decaf and which wasn't. I removed all the rest of the pods and then stuck the bag in there. These Belvita bars, I love having a little package with my morning coffee. So I ripped the lids off of those, stuck them in the basket, poured all of my pods back in, and my morning basket is all done. So So once all the baskets were decluttered and organized, it's time to tackle the shelves themselves. There were some random things here that, to be honest, didn't need to be there anymore. And then I'm vacuuming up the shelves, making sure those are nice and clean. And can I just tell you, the feeling the next day after organizing a space when you go into that space to grab something, like for me this morning when I opened up my morning basket to grab a coffee pod, such an incredible feeling. And that is what I want you to remember when you don't feel like doing the organization project. It is going to be so worth it once it's all done. Alrighty, now I'm moving on to my bottles and pump parts. For us, we found that washing the pump parts and bottles in the dishwasher was the easiest method, so we do that. However, I do still use this Mom Cozy washer every single day for the drying feature. I just pop them in there after they're washed and it just dries them really, really well. Because we don't use it for the washing feature, I personally would not buy this one again. I believe Mom Cozy has like a drying and sanitizing option that's a little less expensive. That's what I would buy. However, if you don't have a dishwasher or you feel like you're going to use the washing feature a ton, I definitely think it's worth it. The only thing to keep in mind is that you do need to either use distilled water for it, or you can use tap water, but you'll need to make sure to descale the machine every once in a while to prevent any buildup that could actually make the machine not work as well. So just something to keep in mind. And this is one of those areas where I think plastic containers work amazing to organize. I have 3 laid out here, one for the pacifiers, one for my pumps, and then one for the bottles and milk holders. Becoming a mom has definitely made me become comfortable with having stuff on the counter, because I used to like them 100% clear, but this is just so practical. It works so well. And I do also really like this drying rack that I believe is from the brand Dr. Brown, so I'll have that linked below as well. And now we can move on to wiping down all of my appliances with a stainless steel cleaner, which just gives such a polished, finished look to the entire kitchen.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. Forever.
Now, as we vacuum and mop up the floors, I'm going to end this video with one of my favorite tips for continuously keeping a clean kitchen, and that is the 10-second reset. Yes, I said second, not minute. Obviously, doing a 10-minute tidy every night before you go to sleep or throughout your day is a great way to maintain a clean kitchen, but the 10-second reset is something you can repeat in your mind as you're going through your day. And basically, this means whenever you do anything in your kitchen, as soon as you're done, take 10 seconds to reset it back to normal. So you take your cereal out and you pour your bowl. Instead of just going to eat it, take 10 seconds to put the box away, put the milk away, and then you can eat. When you finish your food, take 10 seconds to pop it in the dishwasher or rinse off the dish, and then you can be on your way. These small little actions of resetting stuff back to their initial state help so much to continuously keep your home clean. And obviously this tip can work in any area of your home, but especially in your kitchen when you're going and reaching and grabbing for stuff and taking stuff out all day long. This really helps to keep it consistently clean. If you want to keep getting stuff done together, I would absolutely love that. So I will have my mom cleaning, decluttering, and organizing playlist linked below, so you can, there's like a ton of videos like this one if you want to keep watching. And don't forget to subscribe for more. I'd love to have you join our family over here, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, love you, bye.